Hey, it's Kristine with Storyworthy. Today on the show, writer Danielle Koenig talks about how her roommate went crazy.
They were like, "Did you hear what happened to Sharon?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" "Well, she's such a bitch." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "Well, she went crazy." And I'm like, "Huh?" "She went crazy and she was yelling and the police came. The police are in your dorm room." And I'm like, "What?" And then the next thing I know, they're dragging her out of the room. So I remember I went to the dorm room and I had the key, and it was like a horror movie. Like, I couldn't get into the room. Like, I was like, oh.
Today on the show, writer and host of the How to Survive podcast, Danielle Koenig talks about how her roommate went crazy. Stay close.
Hey, my name is Danielle Koenig, and you're listening to Storyworthy.
Welcome to Storyworthy. My name is Kristine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show of over 11 years, or you're a new fan, if you're a new fan, you have a lot of catching up to do. But either way, welcome to Storyworthy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the story last week by a guy named Frank Sasso. He's a writer and a podcaster and just a really interesting person. And anyway, he talked about Disney World, right? So I get into this with a lot of people, Danielle, because I am not a Disney fan, at all. But a lot of people are, clearly. There are Disney people. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Oh, I know them.
Yeah.
I know them.
I know them, too. I was saying on the last show that I was with my buddy at Disney World because of our kids, and he was taking pictures in the gift shop. And I'm like, Les, what are you taking pictures of? Why are you taking pictures? And he says, reference.
For his collection?
There are Disney people.
Well, my dad is a Disney person.
Oh, he is.
He collects Disneyana.
Oh.
It's not like he's crazy about going to the theme park or anything, but he collects Disneyana, yeah.
What does it mean, Disneyana?
It just means collect memorabilia of Disney.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, if you're in the know, you know.
Holy cow. Well, okay, so first of all, you guys go back, listen to Frank Sasso talking about working for Disney in an underground bunker. I should add. Yeah. And anyway, go back, listen to that, you guys, but not today, because today I'm here with writer and a friend of mine, Danielle Koenig, and she brings forth the topic, My Roommate Went Crazy. And I love a topic like this, because it's very clean. It's very clean. My roommate went crazy. I know what you're saying. I know.
Yeah.
But before we get to your story, I want to come back to your dad for a second, who collects the Disneyana. And how long has he been doing this?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, all my life, for sure. He is 85, so I mean, it's not like he's collecting anymore, I don't think, but he probably came of age at a time where Disney was just getting going, He was born in 36.
Right.
So he's sort of like raised on the characters, the artwork, all that kind of stuff. So he has like lots of figures and buttons, and his whole office is dedicated to collections.
Wow.
Not just Disneyana, but that's one of them.
What else does he collect?
There's a thing called Big Little Books, which were around probably from the 30s maybe to the 60s. And they're little, they're squat, they're fat, short, hard-covered books. Like a Lone Ranger, or like they're for kids, and they're collectibles. And before the internet, he used to have a lot more fun, going to, like when I was a kid, we'd go to paper shows, they'd call them, or toy shows, and he'd, get his collections and stuff.
Boy, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Are they the kind of books like when we gave to our children, like those little chubby books, I think they call them?
Well, no, because they're written, the print's small, and it's just that they're like, I don't know, maybe 5 inches high by like 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah. And the classics. It's a lot of classics.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, they're all different subjects.
Wow.
But fiction.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. That's interesting. Now, your father, of course, we should mention, is Walter Koenig, who starred as Chekhov in the original Star Trek.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me ask you: were you a fan, or are you a fan of Star Trek?
It is an interesting question. I have to admit, I don't think I've seen every episode of Star Trek. And there were only 3 seasons. but my dad was only on 2 of them. I used to watch it when I was homesick. I would put it on because it was so comforting how like slow and low key it was. And if I was like going to fall asleep to something, I would watch that. I'm a fan of all the movies,
Yeah.
Well, not the first one, but no one is.
No, but there were so many. There were like 8 of them, I think.
Well, yeah, I think my dad was in 6, maybe 7.
Wow.
So I was more into those than the TV show.
Sure.
It's funny when you watch the show now, it's so talky because there were all these, sort of philosophical ideas and it was, sort of progressive, obviously, for the time, but very talky, very talky show.
So the scripts you think were just lengthy, just because it was just basically like 1 shots, 2 shots, and conversation.
I mean, there would be an action scene, of course, but then a lot of it was just sort of like, let's talk about how we're not going to destroy the race of people who we just, but like every week. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not an expert. Don't ask.
I think it's so fascinating. Now, does your dad collect Star Trek stuff as well?
Well, he collects his own figure. I mean, he's got a lot of Chekhov dolls.
How many?
It's kind of funny.
How many?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a dozen? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But like, any Chekhov doll that was made or figure, he has that.
Is that the funniest thing?
Yeah, he actually has a Star Trek pinball machine. And that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Seriously, that is so funny, Danielle. Now let me ask you about your son then, Oliver, who is Alabama's age. We both have 14-year-olds.
That's right.
But Oliver, what does he think of his grandfather?
Well, I mean, the quote when he was little, like maybe 8 or something, we were watching an episode and it was one where my dad was quite featured.
Yeah.
And the quote was, "I can't believe my pop-pop is a table jumping maniac." Because he like jumped on the table in the episode and was all crazy. It was like this crazy. But he's not that I'm not saying he's jaded, but it's not like he's just sort of used to a little bit of show business. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
Everyone's in a little bit of show business, so.
Sure. I guess I was just thinking my daughter just recently went into a Star Wars phase, right?
Oh,
in fact, behind me in my closet, I'll just give you the tour. Here's her Anakin Skywalker costume. Can you see it?
Oh, yes.
I mean, my kid,
so
she went full on Star Wars. And
at 14?
At 13, and she still is. Like, she's still in it. I mean, like, the light switch in her bedroom says, the Force is on and the Force is off, or something like
God.
Everything.
That
Star
is
Wars.
so cute.
She doesn't have 1, but she has 2 lightsabers. How much does a lightsaber cost, Danielle Koenig?
Oh, they're expensive. They're like $250. The ones you get at Disneyland. Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, anyway, so my daughter recently got into that.
I don't want to make you too jealous, but my son was on the Jedi Challenge, which is a Star Wars themed game show.
Oh my gosh!
And so we have a Star Wars video game in our garage.
Oh my gosh!
Like a stand up, like that you sit
it?
down. Yeah.
That is
he got other stuff too, but that was like one of the coolest things. Yeah.
And is that game on the internet or what is it?
Yes, actually, it was on YouTube. It was supposed to be on the Disney Channel. I don't know what happened, and it ended up being on YouTube.
And was it just a quiz show about Star Wars?
No, so it was really great the way they did it. He had a partner, so every kid comes, they're partnered up with their friend or sibling, and they do like an obstacle course. Mm-hmm. So they have to it's like mini, I wouldn't say Ninja Warrior, but it's like they have to run around and grab this and then go here and unlock this and then help their partner put the stone in there. So that's one part. And then the next part is they have to listen to a story. It's not trivia. They just have to listen to a story, like a Star Wars type story, and then answer questions about the story. And then the third part is that was more like another physical thing. And they didn't complete that. They won. They beat the other 2 teams, but they didn't complete the third thing. If they had completed the third thing, they would have gotten a lightsaber.
Oh, my gosh. Well, see, there you go. I thought you were going to say they were going to go to space,
Well, I thought, honestly, as soon as I heard about this, I was like, oh, well, the prize has to be a trip to Disneyland. I mean, it has to be. Like, it has to be tickets to Disneyland. And it wasn't. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Can you throw in some goddamn tickets to Disneyland?
Because
Disneyland
it's so expensive. And Disney World World, don't make me go off on this because I just did it the last podcast, but they are so flippin' cheap, man. Disney World is so cheap. They always shoot and do everything non-union.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. You don't make more than $500 if you do a commercial for Disney, and it's like in perpetuity. I mean, they're the worst.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But also, I'm just saying, the reason why I think they're so successful is they've got such a tight hold on everything.
I know. I just like, if you're going to throw in a $200 Lego set, then, throw in a couple of tickets to Disneyland. We're in Los Angeles.
4 passes. But then again, now you're talking like $1,000. Now, my daughter has been to Disney now 3 times just in the last year. And
wait, during the pandemic?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Whatever. No, but she's been there the last week 3 times because she keeps trying to get on that ride. That stupid...
The Star Wars ride?
The Star Wars ride, right? There's this one big, huge ship, and she wants to get on it so bad. But it's like you have to be within the first 300 people or something in the park. And so she just went like 2 weeks ago. They leave... I didn't go because I can't.
You're done. You're up to your eyeballs in the
sorry. I draw the line. Anyway, so my buddy picks her up at like 6 a.m. They get down there at like 6:40 a.m. The park doesn't even open until 7. Or I don't even know, or maybe even 8. Anyway, and they still didn't get on the ride. She's so bummed. So I don't know how you get to that special place.
Well, I thought you could make reservations for the Star Wars land.
Exactly, but to get on that ship part. By the way, this has been Disney Talk with Danielle and Kristine. No, in order to get on that ship, you have to get into the park, then make your reservation. You can't do it. You can't book it ahead.
Oh, I thought that... Well, for a time, I thought the whole thing was you had to book it ahead of time to get into the Star Wars part.
Yeah, that's one thing.
But not to get onto the ride.
Part it's another thing, right.
Then, we haven't been since the Star Wars land opened.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is pretty cool. I mean, I
want to see it. I really do.
It's pretty impressive. But... again, I'm not really a big fan. So, but back to Star Trek. I don't know why people get the two confused because they couldn't be more different.
The star part, the science part, the fiction part.
Well, my mom is 85 and she was born in 35. And I think it's nice that our parents are active. That's good.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And that's exciting.
Your mom's active? She does stuff?
Yeah, she is. She's doing her thing back there in Pittsburgh. Hi, everybody in Pittsburgh. I've got a couple of really great fans of Storyworthy in Pittsburgh. Now, I guess that doesn't surprise anybody because I'm from Pittsburgh.
That's your hometown.
Hometown, right. But I do appreciate them. Like you, Dave Beechek. Like you, Tracy Verana. You know who you are. Thank you for listening.
Nice.
Yeah, but and now you just started podcasting, and you'll see what I mean.
Yes.
You do get really great fans, and they reciprocate, and it feels really good. But before we talk about your new podcast, How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine with a K.
Yes, different Kristine with a K.
That was interesting, though. I never see that Kristine with a K.
Yeah, you don't see that?
No. Uh-uh.
Yeah, I guess I don't either. Except I feel like I see Chris with a K. Because Kristen. I've always known her as Chris. Oh, Kristen, right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you call her Kristen on the show. I've heard you. Well, anyway.
Yeah, because that's how I know her. I've never known her as Kristine.
Before we talk about that, I want to talk about your husband, Jimmy Pardo. He has, his podcast, Never Not Funny, is truly one of the longest running podcasts in the history of podcasts. Now, I started in 2010. People, that blows their mind. But Jimmy started in 2005, I think.
Something like that, yes. It's 5 or 6,
Yeah, he truly was. That was Never Not Funny. Truly was one of the original podcasts, which is kind of neat. And I've been on the show, and I really enjoy his setup, his professionalism.
It's a really fun show. Yeah. It's just a bunch of funny people talking. Yeah. It's just great. And now, so obviously I was a little intimidated to start my own. So I waited a good,
I bet
12 years or whatever.
I bet, but he must have been an inspiration, right?
Oh, yeah. And he's been so helpful. I mean, just from a business point of view and also from a creative point of view, he's very helpful. And he is so genuinely, already a fan of the show. It's really nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because he's your husband.
I know, but also because it's a good show.
It is a good show. And so you basically talk about how to survive things. Now, the first 3 shows focused on bears, fires, and
there's only been 2 shows so far.
Bears and fires.
Yeah.
Or bears and how to get fired. No, bears.
So what we do is we split up the show. The first part of the show is how to survive an actual practical thing, like a fire or an earthquake or a home invasion. So that's the first part of the show. The second part of the show is we have a guest on, and by the way, it's all comedic. We're giving advice, but it's all comedic, and we all, we're just Googling the advice. It's not like
not for medical purposes. Do not go to How to Survive.
No. And then, but maybe something will, stick in your brain for if you're ever in that situation. And then the second half of the show is we have on a guest, and we talk about it's only related thematically in terms of words. So the first episode was how to survive a fire / how to survive being fired. So that's kind of like, and then the second one was how to survive being attacked by a bear, how to survive overbearing people. That kind of thing. And then we have a guest on who tells a funny story, and we question them about that.
So when I come on the show, you ask me for things that I've survived, but not like the serious stuff, not the cancer and all that, because that tends to bring down the room. But I'll tell you one thing.
It's weird. Yeah.
Cancer shouldn't bring down the room just because it is so prevalent. And there are so many people with it at all times. Because when as a cancer survivor, I know, and one of my best friends now is going through something, and it's not just, you go to the hospital and they do something and then you leave and then, you're done. No, cancer is like a year-long situation or a 2-year-long, because there's the chemo and there could be surgery. Yeah. You never know. And
and then you have to keep checking and make sure it's not coming back.
Exactly. So you check every 6 months, forever and ever. And I'm 25 years out or 24 years out of my cancer. I know, it's
That's
exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. But my point is just that still every 3 years or so, I have a freak out. And I have to go get a CAT scan because I feel like it's back. I know it is. I feel it in my bones. I think it's back.
Yeah.
And it never is, thank God.
It's never been back.
No, but you do whatever. But my point is, we should be able to not laugh about cancer, but make jokes as we go, because a lot of people cannot, it's just so prevalent.
Yeah, and it's probably helpful for some people to laugh.
I think so.
Yeah.
But on your show, I thought I would tell a story about how to survive peeing my pants.
Perfect. That's right up our alley.
But what will we be able to, what can we pair that with?
A flood.
You are so funny.
That's probably what we'll do, how to survive a flood.
Idea. Look at that. You are a natural podcaster. You are so funny. Okay, that's what we'll do. I can't wait.
I mean, that's my brain is just wired that way.
Now, today you bring forth a topic. My roommate went crazy. And I'm just trying to think of any roommates in my past. I remember my first college roommate. I started school. I was only 17. And I got to school the day classes started. I didn't go to orientation. I didn't go to anything. I was hating life. I didn't want to go to school, but there I am. Okay. And I remember my roommate in college, my first roommate, where they just put you with somebody, because you don't know anybody. This girl, first of all, she had my picture on her bulletin board.
No. What?
Warning. Yes. Red
What do
flag.
you mean warning?
Red
Wait,
flag.
yeah, no, that's a red flag. Yeah.
Because what?
But
why
how
do you
did
have
she
my
get your
picture?
picture?
Because it was remember way back when we went to college, they would send you this is going to be your roommate. Her name is Renee, and this is going to be your roommate. Her name is Danielle, and they send a little whatever, I don't know, a picture.
All right, I don't know if I got the picture thing, but okay.
Well, my photo was on this girl's, and then beside my photo was her schedule of the day, and she had every hour scheduled out, 7 a.m. wake up, 7:15, 7:15 study until 7:30 breakfast till 8, first class, second class, and then she would have for 20-minute periods rest. And then in the afternoon, she had her clarinet practice. And I'm I'm stoned. I'm stoned the first day of college. I'm walking in a cloud of smoke. And I'm looking at my picture on this girl's bulletin board, and I'm looking at her schedule, and I'm this is not gonna work.
This is an odd couple situation. Right. But why did she have to do it for find out why she had your picture?
She liked me. She studied my likes
before
my
she even met you.
Yeah, she was so happy. I was going to be her best friend. I think I had to learn clarinet. I'm not sure. But she was so she wanted to be such a good roommate. It was the creepiest thing. Anyway.
So did you end up getting along? Or
No. I moved right away. I went to the RA in the building.
Okay.
And I said,
you're like, I need a stoner too.
yeah,
Sweet.
this isn't going to work. So then the RA puts me with my roommate who I ended up staying with the whole year, a girl from Puerto Rico named Karen Ledesma. And Karen, one weekend, she brought her best friend up from Puerto Rico. And his name was Juan Bacardi III. And he brought a case of rum. He was the Bacardi family? Yeah, that was his grandfather.
Oh my God.
So
what a hookup.
It was a major hookup. And so Karen and I became very good friends.
Yeah, she was much more your speed.
Much more my speed. Okay, who is barking in the back? I don't think it's Jimmy.
I'm sorry.
Is it Jimmy?
It's not even our dog. We don't have a dog. It's next door.
Get out of here.
I apologize. There's nothing I can do. He just barks. I'm sorry. He'll stop.
That must be so annoying.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Well, seriously, did you ever go over to their house and knock on the door?
I mean, they're very friendly. We like them very much. Their daughter used to babysit our son. They're very sweet. I don't know what are they going to do? Like, he's just outside and he's just barking.
What do you mean what they're going to do? Tainted meat. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, I can just throw that over the fence.
No, I'm totally kidding. But I'm thinking, like, aren't those collars, like, I don't know.
I know. I'm just so against any shock collar or anything. I don't know. He seems to have, I think he stopped.
Okay, let me just tell you this. You're not podcasting in your house, are you?
No, but during the thick of the
COVID,
of the pandemic, my husband was podcasting from the house, and he dealt with the dog on a regular basis. So it's not. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just find wow. I would have said in a heartbeat. It sounds like it's right in the room with you.
I know.
You have a very good microphone.
Or just very thin walls. I don't know.
You're going to have to put up
Oh, you know what? The window's open. Let me close the window. Hold on.
Danielle?
Well, Jimmy opened the window for air or something. Hold on.
All right, listen, we're going to get over your story in just a second. My roommate went crazy. But before we do, I wanted to remind everybody that Story Smash, the storytelling game show, is back at the Hollywood Improv every month. It's usually the last Saturday of the month. It kind of just depends. This month, November, it's November 27th. And I got to tell you, it is so funny and we laugh so hard. And, there hasn't been a show after hours, so we can even go a little longer. We go like 1:20 now. And I really recommend you guys coming down to the Improv. Blank Patch, Danny Zucker, they're always there. Jimmy Pardo, Jimmy's done the show at least 3 times or 4 times maybe.
I know, he has a blast doing it.
So funny. So you guys check out StorySmashShow.com and follow Story Smash on Instagram at Story Smash, and then you'll see show pictures and activity, and it's a blast. You should play sometime, Danielle.
I would love to.
Would you?
I would absolutely love to, yeah.
Oh my God, I'll book you right away.
Okay, cool.
All right, you guys. She's here right now, Danielle Koenig. Like I said, she is a writer, and you've acted in things as well.
Yeah, not in a long time.
Yeah, and comedy. Have you done stand-up or not?
Yeah, I think that's how we met. Isn't that how we met?
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah, no, I used to do stand-up. But then once I got pregnant, that didn't really work for me. And also, after I had my son, for some reason, I started getting more work as a writer, which is what I wanted anyway. So,
Dude, I took off 11 years when my daughter was born. Yep.
You didn't do any performing?
I had my podcast, of course. I did the podcast.
Okay.
I did storytelling events and moths, but I didn't do any comedy because, everybody knows as a comedian, you have to really pretty much live comedy, and you have to be out really every day, pretty much twice a day. Even, just at open mics or whatever. I go all the time. And you have to hang out a lot, right? And I was a stay-at-home mom. Like, my daughter, I don't think she ever had a babysitter, I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
Let alone
That's
a nanny.
impressive.
No.
Wow. Yeah.
Really hands-on. And so there was no way. You can't even compare going to a coffee shop open mic or nurse my baby.
Well, that's what it was for me. Yeah. That's what it was for me. Was I was just like, it's not like I had a lot of booked gigs. It would have been open mics. And I was like, am I really going to leave my son at home so I can go do open mic. So that was, my choice. And I mean, if I had had a thriving stand-up career, obviously that would have been different.
Of course, Kira Sultanovich killed. She did comedy all the way up to 9 months old, and then 9 months pregnant, and then right back in there when the baby was like...
Laurie Kilmartin, same thing.
Same thing.
Brilliant women,
So it can definitely be done, but it was not... it wasn't good for me. But now, the last 3 years, I've been back in it as heavy as I can.
Oh, cool.
And I love stand-up, obviously.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. And like I said, Danielle has a brand new podcast out right now called How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, and it is very entertaining. You will learn a few practical things, like fire moves faster up the hill.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Don't try to outrun a fire. Don't.
No, you're not going to. But I didn't know about all the knowledge I learned about the bear one. You know, about like, if it's brown, just lay down.
Right.
If it's black, you gotta fight back. Or something
like that. I don't know. I don't really remember. But then we were since corrected that all bears in California are actually black bears. They're just different shades. So we're getting a lot of different information. Like they can even be blonde. I don't know.
But I swear to God. I was in the airport, I'm listening to your show, and I think it was Kristine said all bears in California are brown, and I'm thinking to myself, no, they're not.
Yeah, no. And we're running a little, well, actually segment at the end of our shows. So that's from any listener who corrects us. We're running a well, actually, dum-dums. So please feel free to write us if we get something wrong. We are not above being corrected at all.
I think it's hilarious. You guys can find the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and you can find Danielle over there on Twitter at Danielle B. Koenig. Is B a middle name then?
Yes.
What's your middle name?
Beth.
Oh, sweet. Danielle Beth Koenig.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Thanks.
All right, you guys, wherever you are, put your hands together for Danielle Koenig.
So this was in college, actually. And we were sent the names and like where our potential roommate would, was from. So when we got to, I think I talked to her on the phone actually once before. I think they encourage you to talk to the person on the phone. This was obviously before cell phones and apps and tweets and texts and all that crap. So I get there and I meet her, and she's immediately relieved and expresses so that I'm not like a gorgeous blonde, because she thought if someone from Los Angeles had to be really attractive, and she was really super excited that I was not a stereotypical Angelino. So that was kind of what broke the ice. And so she was a little odd, but she wasn't a freshman. She was a sophomore. I don't know why I was paired with a sophomore. This was at NYU, by the way. And there's really nice dorms at NYU. And then there's the dorm I was in, which is called Weinstein. And it's just as appealing as it sounds. It's concrete cinder blocks. It's like you have all these beautiful, old, gorgeous buildings in the village, and that's not one of them. So it's just hideous. So we shared a bathroom. I mean, we shared a room, and she got a little odd, and she was kind of like a little unkempt. Her side of the room was like really, really messy. I'm not like a neat freak by any measure, but she was kind of messy, and things would start getting weird. And then I had this poster of, the artist Klimt. I had a Klimt. You've read, you know it, the man kissing the woman, and it's all like kind of looks like different pieces of foil or gold and all these beautiful colors. If you saw it, you would recognize. But anyway, this was a picture of a young girl in like a white dress with brown hair. And I guess maybe I don't know, I bought it at the museum because I was a college kid and that's what you do. And maybe I thought it looked like me or something. And she'd go, yeah, that girl, like, I feel like I'm her, but like I'm not her. I'd be like, okay. Then one morning, I wake up and she's right in my face. Like my eyes open and she's right there, like a fucking scary movie. And she's like, good morning. I'm like, holy fuck. Now, I had friends in college, but I didn't have a lot of friends and I didn't have anyone really tight. So when I was as far away from my home as you could be. And it was, a little scary. I'm 18 and all this stuff. And I'm in New York City and my roommate's slowly going mad. So, so the thing with the poster, and then she'd wake up and then she talked about, she was like obsessed with this guy. She was obsessed with this guy, and that comes up later. So one day we actually had our own bathroom. That was the amazing thing about this dorm room. We had our own bathroom. And one day I walk in and there is hair all over the bathroom, on the toilet, in the toilet, on the floor. And I go, Sharon, her name was Sharon. Sharon, you cut your hair. And she goes, yeah. And I said, and you left it all over the bathroom. She was like, yeah, I wanted it to be contained, but I didn't want it to be contained. And I was like, oh, holy fuck. And I don't mean to make fun of the mentally ill. I mean, it's horrible. It's just, this story is the perspective of someone who was witnessing it firsthand at 18 years old. 18 years of age, I don't have any idea what's going on in life either. And I'm literally dealing with a crazy person who I barely know and who appreciates me because I'm not pretty. So I'd go to class and she'd be up at weird hours and stuff. And she talked about this boy she was in love with, and I think there was there were a lot of body issues. I remember that her mom was thin and her dad was a plastic surgeon, and they were Israeli. And the way she described it, they were very wealthy, and her mom was sort of prototypically beautiful, and she was a little heavy, just sort of oddly shaped, just an odd, And so I think there was some jealousy with me because, though not pretty, I was small. And her behavior is just becoming a little weirder and weirder. And I come home one day from class or whatever, and I'm walking down. Ours was the last dorm down the hall on this concrete, echoey hallway. And I'm coming down the hall, and these girls come out of their dorm rooms, and these were girls who had kind of been friends with her the year before, and I wasn't friends with any of them. They were just annoying, stupid girls, and they were like, "Did you hear what happened to Sharon?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" "Well, she's such a bitch." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Well, she went crazy." And I'm like, "Huh?" "She went crazy and she was yelling, and the police came. And the police dragged her out. Oh, no. I think that's what it was. The police, I think she said, "Oh, the police are in your room." That's what it was. The police are in your dorm room. And I'm like, what? And then the next thing I know, they're dragging her out of the room. And I'm freaking out at this point because this is the person I know the most on campus is losing her mind. So I remember I went to the dorm room and I had the key, and it was like a horror movie. I couldn't get into the room. I was like, oh. And I got into the room and I locked the door, and I smoked a cigarette. And, I borrowed a cigarette from someone, and it was an unfiltered. So I'm on the ledge, like a moody college kid smoking a red, Marlboro Red. And then I hear the door jiggle. Because she had run down the hall. Oh, I heard the thundering, pounding footsteps. She had run down the hall and was trying to get back into the room. And so she was jiggling the door handle. And I'm just oh, but it was locked. But, there's that moment where did I lock it? I think I locked it. Did I lock it? What's going to happen? So they dragged her away. And then I hear later that she punched a cop. So she ends up in the hospital. And she is diagnosed with manic depression or bipolar. I'm still not sure if that's the same thing. I think she was bipolar, which apparently does come out at that age. It's sort of once you hit older teens, it's kind of a time where that sort of presents itself. So Sharon wasn't coming back to school. So we had to pack up her things. And we would, So we're going through all their stuff. It's me and the RA or something. And we're going through all the stuff, and it's like just random wads of cash. Just all crinkly, just like randomly stuck somewhere. Then there's notebooks, which we really shouldn't have been reading, but we did. And there were notebooks written in like crazy person handwriting that was talking about this guy she liked, except that she had cast herself as a man and cast the guy as a woman. So there was that. And it was just filthy and disgusting, and we had to pack it all up. And I don't know why this became my responsibility, but somehow it did. And this was my, So we sent all the stuff back, and then we were told she'd be away for a while. And then I had my own room to myself, which was just fine with me, but it didn't really help with the fact that I didn't really know anyone and was sort of lonely and didn't have any friends in the dorm. But so we sent all the stuff away, and then one day I go for a run, and I come back. And the RA, or the guy who works at the who checks you in at the dorm, says, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And I was like, "Yeah." Oh no! Beforehand, before I got to the dorm, someone said Sharon's back, and I was like, "What do you mean she's back?" They're like, "Yeah, she's back." And I was like, "Okay, literally no one told me she was coming back, or they told me, but they didn't give me a date." So he pulls me inside, this guy. I can't remember if it was like a school psychologist or something. And they go, "So what are you going to say to her?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I going to say to her? Why is it my responsibility what I say to her? Like, maybe you could give me some talking points. What the fuck? This is my responsibility all of a sudden?" And I'm calling my parents and I'm telling them this. And they're like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "I know. It just, of course, I mean, I don't mean, obviously, I'm lucky that I'm a sane person and that it's horrible that she went through this, but it's pretty on brand for me to be paired with a crazy person. As soon as I start college, like it's pretty much my speed." So they're like, "So what are you going to say to her?" And I was like, "I don't know." They're like, "Well, are you going to bring it up?" And I'm like, I mean, if she brings it up, I'll bring it up. But I mean, I'm not going to just out of nowhere go, "Hey, you went bananas, huh?" Like, I don't know. So what was that like, losing your marbles? So I go into my room, and there she is. And it was just, she was better-ish. She was on medication, like heavy-duty medication. And, we finished out the year, and it was fine. It was, she's just a little odd, but there weren't any more breakdowns. So anyway, cut to, and I left school. I didn't go back, which... a huge mistake. But anyway, I didn't finish college. So cut to a few years later, I'm in Chicago. She was from Chicago. And I decided, I'm going to call, because I had her home number, and see how she's doing. So I call, and her mom answers the phone, and I said, "Oh, hi, is Sharon there? This is Danielle." "Oh, hello, Danielle." And I said, "Hi, how, is Sharon there?" "No, she's not." "Well, how's she doing?" "Oh, good. She joined this new..." "Danielle, do you know about the Moonies?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're a cult." She was like, "Yeah, she's with them now." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking A." I was just like, perfect. So that was the story. It's crazy,
that is
right?
So funny. Oh my God. What did she go to NYU for?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What were you there for? Screenwriting?
Well, that's sort of the reason I didn't finish, because as a freshman, I couldn't get writing classes. They didn't provide them. And so I was very turned off by that. I should have just stuck around and waited for No, I wasn't in the film. Sorry, I did not apply to the film department, but I wanted writing classes, and I couldn't get any writing classes. Or maybe I should have just applied to the film department, but I didn't think of that then, because I didn't want to direct or anything like that. I just wanted to write.
But you were living here in LA, right? You're from here, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm from LA. Yeah.
So your parents sent you all the way to NYU. I mean, I'm just saying that's a far way to go.
So why did I go to NYU?
Especially because. Well, yeah, because there's so many wonderful schools in Southern California.
My thought was I wanted to get away from my family. And my dad even said, "I think you should get away as far as possible." Not that it was a horrible family or a horrible existence. I just needed some freedom. And I had a sort of romantic notion of what New York is. And I do really like New York, but it's different if you don't have any money and you're, I did little jobs here and there. I babysat and stuff, but it I was kind of just done with school. I was just...
Well, I know what you mean, but the thing is with college, listen to me, like I know what I'm talking about. No, but it seems like in college, the first year and even the second year, it is all about getting those requirements, like you got to do the math or the biology or the English studies or whatever. And then later in school, the classes get more geared toward you. I mean, that's what it was in a traditional setting. I mean, now I don't think it's
know
like that
if
anymore.
like that just wasn't explained to me, or my parents weren't like super on top of the whole school thing. They didn't help me like with the essays or apply. Like I did it all on my own, and not like I'm so brave. I'm just saying that that wasn't like something they really knew about. So,
but it really wasn't in that whole era. Parents didn't get involved.
I mean,
Parents
they were
didn't help
sort of
with homework.
I was just very competent, and I had worked so hard in school that I was like, why am I still in school? You know what I mean? I was like, I always had really good grades, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm just done with school.
Were they disappointed? But you were only 18. Were you disappointed? Were your parents disappointed?
I always joke that because neither my brother nor I finished college, that they did that thing.
Oh, really?
They did that thing where you like adopt a kid through the LA Times and like send them through college. And I was like, oh, finally they're going to have a graduate.
You guys, that's so funny. Yeah, well, I think also because you grew up in this family where your dad is kind of a famous actor, and you probably knew there were options and there were tangible jobs that aren't boring and horrible.
Yeah, but I should have. Honestly, it's a huge regret that I didn't finish. It was not born of a wise decision. I was just. I don't know. I just thought, like, no, you know what it is? I wanted to do stand-up, but I didn't do stand-up in any, I didn't approach that with a great plan either. So I should have just finished and done stand-up while I was there. That's what I should have done, but...
Yeah, because you would have been in New York doing stand-up too.
It was all
well, how does anybody pull their shit together when they're 17, 18?
I know.
I mean, it's a lot to ask. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
But that didn't help. Having a crazy roommate certainly didn't help with the social scene.
That's wild. Yeah. I thought immediately, like, if she came back into that room when you were like near the ledge, she would have pushed you out the window.
Right? Totally.
Jesus. Yeah, really scary. And I'm glad they got her medicated, but obviously not enough. The Moonies are such an old school cult. I don't think they're around anymore.
Well,
are they around anymore?
It's funny you say that, because this morning I was listening to Rachel Maddow. I listened as a podcast, so it's just the TV show, but the day after. And she was talking about one of these crazy Trump rallies where they try to get the election overthrown from a year and a half ago. So it was led by the son of the Moonies guy, who has his own cult that's based on like guns. And I'm not kidding. I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. I'm going to talk about this today. And she's talking about the Moonies. It was so crazy.
Unbelievable. So Rachel Maddow said the words, and the guy leading the rally is
the son of the Moonies leader. Yeah. That's what she said.
I wonder what that guy's name was, the main guy.
I think they were Asian. I can't remember. I don't know.
That is so fascinating.
Yeah.
I remember growing up in the 70s that cults were like so sexy.
I know.
There was just something about them that was just like I just want to get out of here and live in a commune, and I'll grow the tomatoes and you do the dishes and we'll all smoke weed.
Remember that made me think of, there was a Three's Company episode where Chrissy goes to Big Sur because she's following this cult, and they say, do you remember?
No, I don't remember that episode. That's fabulous. I'm so looking that up.
And they had to tell her hey, dum-dum, this is a cult. They took all your money, but she's just an idiot. So but that was like a thing. And I remember she was wearing a lot of beige, robes and what's that crepey material that's not linen?
Tulle.
No, not linen, not tulle. Anyway, I'll think of it. But
silk, no. This week on a very special Three's Company, Chrissy finds herself following the Monies. Janet gets angry, and Jack says, "Oh, you girls."
And there's a misunderstanding because she's an idiot. She thinks that
a misunderstanding. Call Mr. Roper.
And it's funny because we watch all these cult documentaries now, and they're literally all the same. Every single goddamn one is the same. It's like, how do people still fall for this shit? It's unbelievable.
Why does Scientology have so much real estate? I mean, there's a lot of questions that we're not going to get to answer, Danielle.
No.
They should call us,
right?
Whoever they are, but they don't.
They don't know what they're doing.
Well, listen, congratulations again on your new show, How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. I can't wait to be a part of it.
I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah, and good luck in the podcasting world. I know a lot of fun people, and you can always take a look at my guest list. And we can
great.
Swap people around, and I'll get you on Story Smash as well.
Oh, I'd love that. Oh,
good.
Yeah.
But we can't have Jimmy judging. That would be
unfair.
so unfair.
No, nepotism. No, unfair.
You know why it would be so unfair is because he probably wouldn't choose you because he felt like he could feel like he couldn't.
Yes, that's actually true.
Even though you might, win, but he might not then choose. So you see, it's the whole nepotism thing. It doesn't work in Story Smash because the audience is right there, and usually the judges choose who the audience wants.
Right.
There's a whole.
No, okay, all right, I get it.
We have a lot of fun.
The other thing. Oh, can I plug something else?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so my husband, Jimmy Pardo, is hosting a show called Pop Culture that is live once a month at Flappers in Burbank. And I've been writing on it. So if you are so inclined, please check that out. Go to the Flappers website for the next... We're not sure of the next date yet, or else I would tell you. But it's once a month, and it's really fun. It's a live game show where 3 comics are the contestants, and they kind of compete in pop culture. It's all very silly, and it's just fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, you guys. You can find Danielle over there on Twitter at Danielle B. Koenig. And, of course, follow me over there as well at Storyworthy. All right, you guys. Thanks so much again for listening. I sure appreciate it. If you're not on my mailing list, make sure you get on it. Just go to storyworthypodcast.com. And, there's like a flash up thing. And then you put your name in there and your email, and you'll get a nice letter from me every week. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't you like that? I think you would. All right, you guys, one more time on behalf of the very talented Danielle Koenig. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was a blast. Thanks so much.
My name is Kristine Blackburn, saying, make it a story-worthy week.
Follow me. I'll take you down to the river. Follow me. I'll keep you silent.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy Podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.
I'll keep you satisfied.
Dad deserves double the thanks this year, so this Father's Day, give him the power tool system that has everything for every job. The Ryobi One Plus tool system now on special buy. Over 260 Ryobi tools powered by one interchangeable 18-volt battery. And for a limited time, when you make a qualifying Ryobi purchase, you get one select tool or battery free. Feels like Father's Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Offer valid through July 31st, 2022. Valid at participating stores and online. Limit 1 per transaction.
Membership fees apply after free trial. Cancel anytime.
Can I be real for a second? That goal you have to exercise and eat better, you really can do it. But nobody is going to do it for you. And nobody has to, because you can do it if you have the right tools and a community that cares about helping you get results. And that's us, Beachbody. It's as convenient as your TV or laptop, but you need to decide that you're worth it. Let us help you succeed. Here's how. Go to beachbody.com to claim your free membership and start feeling great.